So, let's start our introduction to new technologies for non-technical users course with a very important technology, the cloud computing, which in many ways is the base technology for most of the latest technologies in the market. This gives birth to most of the high-speed, dynamic, scalable and always available technologies which we are using in our day-to-day life now. So, before getting into the understanding of what cloud computing is all about, let's try to understand what many people think about what cloud computing is. I have listed few memes here for easier understanding. These memes are based on my professional experience as well, where I understood from people when I interacted with them. Just a quick disclaimer here. These memes are just to portray how few people think about cloud computing is, and it is not to mock anyone here. Okay, so with that, let's start with the first one. Since the word cloud is present in cloud computing technology, few people are expecting the computers to fly along with the passing clouds, and they are expecting it to be omnipresent across everywhere so that people can do their operations from anywhere using any devices. However, the use case is true, only the expectation on computers to fly is the only problem here. Next one is a very famous meme that you may also come across in few of the mediums like LinkedIn or Facebook or wherever. One person is trying to push the data into cloud since he is expecting to store the data into the passing cloud. Somehow, the other person is aware of it and is checking with the data push guy here. This is a very funny meme since many people, including myself, I would say in the past, believe that this is how cloud computing actually works. But it is not. The last one is a self-explanatory one. Someone is calling the cloud help desk and checking on where the data is currently stored. And the response from the representative is, it is just passing over Peru, a country in South America at the moment, meaning he is referring to the passing clouds as well. So, all these are not cloud computing as a technology in any way. So, what is cloud computing? What is this buzzword is all about? Let's keep it simple and try to understand in simple terms. So, cloud computing is a centralized pool of computing resources that is sliced and diced based on the company's requirements and is delivered over the internet. So, here let's take a step back and try to understand from the core. Let's think about the data center that is available in your company. Within a data center, we will have a lot of servers along with storage and other components, something like your coolers, security, etc. Right? In a professional setup, few company applications are installed directly onto the server since it may require high configuration in terms of CPUs, RAM and storage for smooth functioning. Once the application is installed onto the server, company users can directly access it from their computer without even installing the application on their computer. Hope you are clear with this for now. This is something that is in a practice for a very long time, and each company will have their own data center and they will manage it on their own. So in the same setup, what cloud computing is bringing to the table is there will be a huge service provider who will maintain a very large data center in some remote location, and it will be owned by them. So what companies are doing nowadays is they are using this centralized pool of computing resources offered by these cloud service providers, and they are slicing and dicing the compute configurations based on their company's requirements. Say like using 2 servers or 4 servers or 256 GB storage based on the need, and these offerings are delivered over the internet. So from a company point of view, it completely eliminates the need of setting up their own data center on their premises. In the past, setting up and managing the data center was a very big headache for any company since it needs a lot of technical skills for the setup and it requires 24/7 monitoring as well. Cloud computing just removes all these top of the list issues, and this is how cloud computing as a technology grew at a much faster pace over the last decade. It is also growing rapidly nowadays. Everything is building on top of cloud technology. Also, accessibility of internet across all the regions adds its own share of support for the growth of all the latest technologies as well. Okay, then If you think cloud computing concept is new, certainly it is not. Managing a centralized system by a service provider or government and subscribing to this service on a day-to-day basis is a fundamental concept of cloud computing. Right, so let's try to understand with some real life examples and how knowingly or unknowingly we are also already part of the concept of cloud and the subscription models in our households itself. So the first one is electricity. Just think, what are all the components that require to generate electricity to our electrical and electronic components available in our homes? On a high level, it requires power plants to produce electricity, transmission lines to carry electricity, and transformers to manage voltages. But are we managing it all? No, right? What we are doing is we just subscribe to the electricity and we are paying the electricity bills on a monthly basis based on the usage. All the above said components are managed by the government or any third-party companies. This is what cloud computing is all about. Some centralized service provider is managing all the components like servers, storages, network components, coolers, physical and logical securities, firewalls, etc. And as a user or company, we are only going to pay for what we use or subscribe. This is as simple as it is. That's it. This is all the buzz about cloud computing. Just a couple more examples to make sure you are well aware of the concept. To use your smartphones to make calls and access internet, it requires telecom towers, antennas, carrier networks and internets to access all the functionalities. Here again, we are only paying subscription fee to service providers like Vodafone, Jio or Verizon to use these services. And the last one is your water supply to your home. Here as well, the waters are filled in a centralized mega tank and it is distributed to your home through underground pipes laid across the cities. Here again, we are paying only for the usage of water. Someone is managing the mega water tank, underground pipes and transfer tubes. So this is how cloud works in a nutshell. I hope you got a good understanding on what is cloud computing technology on a very high level. We will try to understand few more concepts about cloud computing in the upcoming sections as well.